Hi everyone, and welcome to another edition of MACD Winners, where we take trading days, real days, and break them down step by step so we can learn to find the trading opportunities. If you're new to the channel here, the day trading micro futures, you should know I keep the charting here consistent with candlesticks. I'm trading the NASDAQ100 Micro Emini. I'm using in the bottom pane the MACD. And I use candlesticks with 5-minute increments. Also note the zero line there in the bottom pane, which is a part of the MACD. And we're going to cover the hours in a day of trading here from 9:30 a.m. until 4 p.m. Eastern Time, the regular trading hours. The market opens at 9:30, and next we're going to look at the trade indicators in the MACD and compare it with the pricing in the above candlestick chart. Okay, here's a quick review. What is a buy signal when we use the MACD? Well, my rule that I teach here, the buy is when the green line crosses over the red line and provided that both are above the zero line at that time. Now, let's find the buy signals here between 9:30 and 4 p.m. all day. You can see the green line almost starts off early in the morning, right after the opening, and goes over the red line. But they're both not above the zero until about 5 or 10 minutes after 10 a.m. right here. And then following along, the next buy signal I see is over just after 1 p.m. The green line, again, is already crossed over the red line, but not until just after 1 o'clock, about 1:05 to 1:10 p.m., do we find another buy signal that follows this rule, which is the green over the red line and both above the zero line at that time. Now remember, this is a training video, and we're taking an entire trading day here from 9:30 to 4. And we've looked at it and we see there are only 2 buy signals all day long. And what we're going to do next is I'm going to take the one at about 10:10 in the morning, and I'm going to exercise a buy order, and we'll see how we manage that trade. And once we've closed that trade out, we'll go and do the one at 1:10 in the afternoon. Now, what comes next after we do the buy trades, I'll go back and look for sell signals during the same day. And I'll take you through those and how we manage those trades. By practicing these things over and over again are how you're going to become proficient at them. It's kind of like driving a car. The first time you're behind the wheel, you think you have 20 things to remember at one time, and you'll never be able to learn it. But you do, and you do that by practicing the same motions over and over again. And that's exactly what we're doing right here, right now, learning how to use this MACD as a good trade indicator. If you're new at all this, it is a little overwhelming at first. You've got candlesticks, you've got increments, you've got types of orders, MACD trade line, charting with candlesticks in 5-minute increments. You've got all these things coming together. But if you remember the first day on your first job, you were probably nervous and it seemed like you had a lot to remember too. But just remember that millions of people do exactly what we're doing right here. And it isn't hard to do. It's just a new group of terms, the jargon and the visuals that you're getting used to as you learn it. So try to remember not to give yourself a hard time. You're going to make some mistakes. That's why we call it practice. And when you get comfortable with this, you'll know it. And it'll happen a lot faster than you think, I imagine. Okay, so let's get started. The time is 10:10 in the morning. We put in a buy order to buy one contract of the NASDAQ100 Micro Emini at a price of $92.30. And we entered that trade. We're filled, and by 10:50 to 10:55, we're already up 20 points, which is $40. We've gone from a purchase price of $92.30 up to a price of $92.50, and we're $40 up from 10:10 to 10:50. So that's about 40 minutes of time that's passed. Now we're going to use the same MACD indicator to determine when to get out of this long trade. And you can see at about 10:50 in the morning, the green line stops going up. It levels off, turns almost horizontal, and then it heads down to converge with the red line by 11 o'clock. Now that's your signal right there. What those lines coming back together means when they converge is you're losing the momentum of whichever direction the market's going in. It was going up, so you're losing that momentum. So that's a time to get out of a trade, and you can take something probably between 35 and 40 bucks in there. You would have gotten in pretty easily at 92.30, I think, and you might not have gotten out until 92.45, something like that. So that's still a $30 profit on the trade from 92.30 to 92.45. It's 15 points, 30 bucks. Okay, now let's hit the reset button. We'll go out to 1:10 in the afternoon, the second buy signal of the day. We're going to buy a contract at 92.40 and we're in. And I can see already this isn't going to end well. But remember, we see the future. We have the genius of hindsight. Everything in that red square right there, you don't even know it's going to happen yet. You know nothing about it. So let's pretend you're blind, and now we've got to manage this trade. What's the prime directive? I hate to get all Star Trekky on you, but the number one rule is preservation of capital. Do not lose your money. And so this is a very, very important part of practicing here, because you got to learn to keep from losing your money. And I'm going to show you how to do that on this trade right now. Okay, pop quiz real quick here. What does it mean when the green and the red lines are coming together and headed towards convergence? It means the market is losing the momentum and the price direction in which it's traveling, and it was going up, so that upward momentum is diminishing as the green and red lines come back together. Now, there's such a thing called situational awareness, and this is what we have to do here. Let's suppose now that we see the convergence happening, and the time is about 1:45 to 1:50. Now, you can see up top there in the candlesticks for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-minute sessions. For 25 minutes, the market has not gone up one iota. At the same time, the green line and the red line, they're headed towards convergence. They haven't quite done it yet, but it looks like they will, and we're definitely having a loss of upward momentum here. Now, those are your signals. That's time to get out of this trade and preserve your capital. And it looks like at about 1:50 p.m. we can get out just about the same place we got in, around 92.40. So to break even on a bad trade, I'd call that a very good read of signals. And don't get obsessive and try to get out exactly where you got in, trying to save that $2 or $4 or $5 or $10 which you can afford. Might cost you $20 or $30. There can't be a lot of hesitation there. It's going to cost you money, definitely. So you must learn to make very decisive moves when you're doing this. Listen, you're playing on the train track. The train is coming. Get the hell out of the way. Okay, now I have something to tell you that nobody ever wants to hear. In this case, it looks like we made all the right decisions and saved ourselves from what could have been a huge loss had we stayed in this trade too long. And that's one of the biggest mistakes that all traders make from time to time. But suppose we made all the same decisions, but the trade just, the market kept going up and up and up, and we see we could have made hundreds of dollars if we hadn't have exited the trade. Well, it's not a matter of if that's going to happen to you, it's just a matter of when. But I'd rather err on the side of caution. So just wanted you to hear about that, because it will happen to you sooner or later. Okay, as promised, we've done the two buy signals for the day. Now we're going to try to find the sell signals for the day. And the rule for the sell signals is the red over the green and both below the zero line. Red over green, both below zero, all at the same time. And we can look on the chart here from 9:30 till 4 p.m. on this same day we use for the buy signals, and we find two instances, can you find them, of sell signals, the red over green and both below zero. Very good. Now, let's take the first one. It's at about 12:10 p.m., and we have this sell signal. And it's not going to last very long, we can see, because we have the genius of hindsight here. But just a few minutes after we pull the trigger and sell this thing at 92.30, the market does go down, but immediately turns back up. And in this particular case, we're probably going to make very, very little or just about break even on here. So let's move on now. Take a look at the next sell signal, which is going to have tremendously better results. 2:45 p.m. we get the sell signal, and we sell at about 92.28. And as you can see, between 2:45 and 4 p.m., direct your eyes down to the bottom pane and the red and green lines in the MACD indicator. Between 2:45 and 4 p.m., you'll see the red line remains over the green line all the way until 4 o'clock, where we get out of a trade at about 9,200. Now, just to keep us honest here, you can see in the blue rectangle down in the bottom right that the lines were headed towards convergence there. And some traders might have seen that and wanted to go ahead and take their profits and not risk giving any of them back. Out of every 10 traders, maybe half would have made the whole 28 points, and the rest might have exited just a little bit early. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with saving and protecting a profit, even though it's an unrealized gain until you close the trade. It's still real money. Now, you've heard me say, perhaps in previous videos, the best hours to trade are the first hour in the morning and the last hour between 3 and 4 p.m. Eastern Time during the day. It's not always true. It's just a rule of thumb. But sometimes during the middle of the day, volatility will go down, and traders do tend to participate more at the first hour and the last hour of the trading day. Well, that's all for the MACD winners today. If you want me to make more videos like this, hit the like button or leave a comment down below, because I want to make the videos that are going to help you make more profits every day. And if you will, please check the link below for access to my book. You can read more about it and get to the link on Amazon. And I hope every day is a payday for you. This is Don Singletary, and thank you.